Chapter 4 is out, and I definitely think it's the best chapter yet. Like with chapter 2, I'm gonna go through each episode one by one and analyze everything. Obvious spoiler warning here, you had enough time to close the video. So, go! The first episode, Bridlewoodstock, is basically a two-parter season opener, being 40 minutes long. We finally see some more of Bridlewood, and it doesn't look as empty as some of the other backgrounds in the previous chapters. And the Loomy Bloom is as beautiful as expected, even if we never learn why it happens, only a week every year. But that's nature, I guess. The interesting things about this episode definitely are the musicians. Electric Blue, the Dreamlands, and Ruby Jubilee, even if the story of them butting heads over being the headliner was a bit predictable. The Dreamlands are a cool reference to the past gen, with their logo being Gen 3 style, and the lead singer being Minty, who many know from Gen 3. It's interesting to hear more about Figgy's past being involved with the Dreamlands in her youth. Their issue about not being their time is understandable. They basically are an 80s band in current time. Electric Blue is a classic rock band, not much to it, and a little bit on a high horse, because the only thing that gave the main five even a chance is that the princess asked them. Ruby Jubilee is clearly the headliner here, the focus. She helps continue the creative block story from chapter 2. Finally some continuity. She also is the only one with a solo song, and for being a simple pop song I don't actually mind it that much, and the performance is beautiful. The main focus outside of the bands are finally some more unicorn superstitions. We finally see the return of Bing Bong, and more importantly, see that the Troggles are actually real. They are very different from G1, now being barely pig resembling, voice-stealing spirits. How many other superstitions could actually be based on reason? The rubies as their weakness is fine enough, nothing special, but not bad either. They seem to be some sort of ghosts by now. What if the Troggles from G1 got wiped out somehow and turned to ghosts? Well, in any case, finally exploring the unicorn culture in Bridlewood is amazing, especially at this colorful event, and despite the problems they had, it turned out beautifully. The outfits they get are great, and what's more interesting is to see Zip and Hitch investigating together, finally showing a more competent side of Hitch again. All of this was closed with a gorgeous song. Pip gets rewarded for her hard work and gets included in the meaningful song. It may not contribute to the story, but the message of "we and our ponies never go out of style" is amazing. The second episode was something we've actually been waiting for. Canterlogic was empty ever since the movie, and I'm honestly surprised that they didn't do anything with it sooner. And they even seemed to call themselves out on it, saying that they basically forgot it existed. It bothers me a little bit that they asked for a public opinion, but then go with their own idea anyway. It's a good idea to help the town with their self-expression though. Another thing we waited for is Sprout's return. He still lives in Maritime Bay apparently, and doesn't seem to face more consequences than the community service. He still acts like a brat, acting like the building isn't owned by the government at this point. What begs the question, is Sunny the actual leader now that she can do as she pleases with the factory? In any case, more important than that are the Pegawets. They are the cause of the conflict and seemingly the ghosts Pip was so scared of. Nice character trait by the way, and it fits the comics. The resolution to the issue is great too. A story-driving song for the rats, and it's a nice song too. To in the end create the Canterlove Studios, a creator's heaven. While all that was going on, we see some more Misty development at the site. Exactly how it's supposed to be. Together with Opaline, who mentions her being a fire icon again, for the first time in 3D media. But we'll go into that more later. Opaline also mentions the crystals, explaining again how Twilight created them, and referring to them as conduits. Which sounds to me like we still have a lot to learn about how they work. Misty though, she is contemplating her life. She even built herself a friend. It's good to have a way to let out our feelings, even if it's someone who won't respond. The Jinxy games were a bit more confusing. We once again see a crazy Bridlewood tradition, and I love to get more into their culture. But the games really were confusing. I at some point just stopped trying to understand. More interesting is Hitch, who actually tries to understand. But it still is fun to see Cloudpuff so energetic again. But I have to admit that the games themselves weren't really my focus in the episode. The other storyline more so. It's great and annoying at the same time. They confirmed Alphabettle and Haven as a couple once again. I love that they did. It just bothers me that they did it in a way that invalidates the Tail Tail episode we saw it in. Both are set up to be the first time the sisters hear of the couple, but I'm a focus on the good side of it. They are adorable together, and the couple is way more clear and affectionate than in Tail Tail. At one point, Queen Haven confirms that she's in love with Alfie, and thinks the princess is like Hitch in a romance kind of way. Beautiful. And only Pip got defensive when getting accused of that. Not Zip. She didn't deny it. I see hope for Zitch. Even the Queen approves. We see Earth Pony magic again here too, and Hitch uses it to expertly save Sparky, when his dad instincts kick in. Misty also has some scenes. She figures out that she is a part of the main five. They are her friends. So she decides that she doesn't want to take Sparky. She learns. But we'll see how that will turn out. One small detail I like is the childish drawing of Opaline in Misty's room. Sunny Side Up might be the most important episode. Right at the start, one of my favorite theories gets confirmed. The ancient Alarcon civilization is real, and Opaline as well as Luna and Celestia come from there. Sky Wars. Like the sisters represent the sun and the moon, Opaline represents fire. Maybe there were more elemental Alarcons like her at some point. I will definitely revisit that theory deeper in the not so far future. Opaline is in focus a lot in this episode. She is on her way to get the Dragonstone, an artifact that will help her drain Sparky's magic apparently. Even if she didn't get it yet, we saw it and know that she will go after it again. On her way, she shows off her power. She is destructive now. Imagine how strong she'll be with all her power. She seems evil to the core. She even mocks the thought of not being evil. I mean, wow. I'm curious as to where that was though. It's an eerie forest, so maybe Bridlewood or something? But I'm not sure. She also briefly talks about our cutie mark magic. She's figuring more stuff out too. And that's the dangerous part. And Misty was subjected to that for years. That's why it's so impressive that she turned out nice and now decides that she wants to leave Opaline, even if she doesn't know how yet. She is scared, but it's close to redemption. The thing the episode is named after is side stuff compared to that. They used the established Canterlogic studios and I appreciate that, but Pip is forcing Sunny and Hitch into roles they don't want. Not cool, Pip. It turned out fine and their friendship got stronger through it, but it's still not a cool move. The next again has some great Misty development, the masquerade ball. Like the first episode, this one has amazing designs for said ball. The masks are gorgeous, even Misty's, and I love the reference they made to the Nightmare Night episode, where she had exactly that mask. This entire episode is basically dedicated to Misty finding herself. She struggles if she really wants to join her friends. She takes the step and gets roped into the ball, and she seems to be enjoying it. Even when Zip corners Misty in the Royal Archives, which I totally want to visit by the way, she chooses to come kinda clean and tells her about her cutie mark. It's one of the biggest steps on her journey so far. She trusts Zip. Zip doesn't quite trust her cause Misty has been acting suspicious all throughout the last chapter, and her tale. But after revealing one of her secrets, their trust gets built. They prove that bond by checking the books on Alarcons together. This book doesn't show us much, but it will be the key to figuring everything out for Zip. They ended with a really fun song. It's not story driving, but story concluding. A symbol. It's really fun to watch them enjoy themselves. Even Misty joins into the choreo. Doing this, Haven recognizes her daughters. But not only that, Alphabettle seems to recognize Misty. His look seems to imply that. It's so subtle that I didn't even notice it at first. But if that's intentional, and he really knows her, and will be a part of her backstory eventually, then this was a genius hint. While that was going on, Opaline acquired the Dragonstone off screen sadly, but now she is all the closer to completing her plan. The second to last episode has the best title yet. A Little Horsey, with Pip in focus. She is once again confirmed to be a little horsey. First thing I noticed is that they brought Electric Blue back. That gives me hope that they won't be one-offs like the celebrities back in G4. We get another Pip is sick plotline here, like in Tale Tale, but this time with another premise. Yes, she's a workaholic again, but the issue this time is that she wants her peace while she is sick. She even has some books now, and I really want to read them. The Chronicles of Chevalier. Obvious reference to the Chronicles of Narnia. Her plan is to recover while she reads, but her friends try to be good friends and help her through the hard time. But forget the important thing of asking her what she wants. Well, they ask, but not the right thing. Sunny at least tries to get her soup to make her feel better. There's nothing like a good soup if you're sick. She wants to get her the special soup her mother always made, which is actually really thoughtful, even if it turned out to be a random soup from a food cart. Haven's reaction to her daughter being sick is very real though. She freaks out when hearing that her baby is sick. The rest of the main five mostly just make cute gestures, like the pet setting up a play. More interesting is Zip at the end. She actually figured out, well, everything and has proven again that she is the smartest of the bunch. Thanks to the book, she found a connection between alicorns, dragon magic, and glowing cutie marks. It's really impressive that she actually knows that there's an evil alicorn in their way. Misty confirms that everything Zip thought was actually right when telling Opaline about it. I'm really impressed with Zip. I just wished we could have seen more of the process and more of the contents of the book ourselves. Now we're here, at the final episode. While writing this, I really wished we got the episodes one by one and not as this batch. That would have made figuring out what came next more fun. Here, I knew what was gonna happen while writing the older episodes. But anyway, the finale is not quite like I envisioned it. I was genuinely surprised to see Misty actually stealing Sparky after all her development. And off screen too, that actually kinda disappointed me. It's nice to see the call and response song from chapter 2 again, at that point. But of course it won't work, he's actually gone this time. Opaline is actually intimidating for once when draining Sparky, and the way she does it for energy seems an awful lot like the new Ninjago season that released just a few days before this chapter. Even if I'm confused that she uses the Dragonstone. I expected her to be able to do it herself without artifacts to help. I assume the stone just makes it easier or something. Otherwise it wouldn't make sense that she was so angry with Misty while not even being ready for the procedure herself. One thing in the background in that scene is the chest that you have Harmony created in D4. Maybe that's just an Easter egg, maybe it will have some meaning. It will be interesting to figure out. The search for Sparky is still ongoing, and for good reason. He is so tortured in his bubble that even people who find him annoying feel bad. And Misty does too, at least it seems like it. She does a good job of seeming convinced of helping our heroes, but sides with Opaline when she traps them in 5. This is a perfect representation of her ongoing inner conflict. But she makes a choice here. She takes the final step and saves her friends, even getting a cutie mark representing that change. A butterfly. A general symbol for change, from caterpillar to cocoon to butterfly. She has reached her butterfly stage. Opaline should have expected that, but now that she has her magic back, she probably doesn't worry anymore. She is powerful, and she doesn't waste any time to use that power. That alicorn battle was epic, and makes a lot of sense. Sunny, as the less experienced fighter, holds her ground, but would lose if it weren't for the magic of friendship. This isn't the end of Opaline, it seems, but they now know of her. And Misty is on their side. She's still in the castle, but seemingly as some sort of double agent, and it feels like a satisfying conclusion to the chapter. As expected, Misty got redeemed and Opaline got stronger, and apparently knows something we don't about dragons. The other dragons might be awake too? That implies that they've been sleeping, but why does she want them? Can she control them? I suppose it's possible, and honestly what I expect. She was so focused on Dragonfire, maybe an ability of the Alicorn of Fire is power to control the dragons. But we'll see. This chapter definitely was the best one yet, and I will go into some of the mentioned stuff in more detail in separate videos. Mainly Misty's development and the ancient Alicorn civilization theory, so stay tuned for that. There are still a few things I need to mention. We haven't seen the mirror even once in this chapter. It was an important magical device, but now it's gone. Just poof. I'd like to know what's up with that. The songs this chapter may have been pop style too, but some were actually important to the story and not just the same theme. They were on topic for whatever was going on, and that was all I wanted. But it still doesn't hold a candle to G4's story relevant songs. Then, I love the continuation of the Hoof to Heart thing. Misty and Sunny do it to seal their friendship basically. Another similarly great sentiment is the song at the end of Bridlewoodstock. I love that lesson and it's important for all of Bronykind. We and our ponies never go out of style. And with that, I end this video. Did you notice something that I missed? About what here should I go into more detail in the future? Do you have general thoughts on the chapter that you want to share? Feel free to tell me in the comments. Join my Discord if you want to discuss some more. Thanks to my patrons, especially to Maverick, and until next time for the bonies, bony fellas, and bye.